Hello, Year 2. Please be informed that I, Willy Wonka, have decided to allow 5 children, just 5 and no more, to visit my factory this year.
So today's objective is I can answer questions about the story. We're going to be working on our reading comprehension. Interesting. Okay, let's explain the story together. Before reading a story, you have to look at the pictures and read the caption if any. So look here. You see a little boy and you see a weird man. Good. Then read the title of the story and try to guess what the story is going to be about. So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So at least, let's pretend you haven't read the story yet. At least you know that we're going to be talking about someone called Charlie and a chocolate factory. So the story is going to be about a chocolate factory and someone called Charlie. Good. This is the first thing you got to do before reading a story. Then, in chapter 1, we were introduced to Charlie's family. So this is Charlie, and you know that there are 6 people in his family. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bucket. His grandparents, Grandpa Joe, Grandma Josephine, Grandpa George, and Grandma Georgina. Good. Now, his 4 grandparents stayed in bed all day and didn't have much room because they slept in the same bed. So if you know that they all slept in the same bed, all 4 grandparents, you could assume that the family was poor, right? In chapter 2, we talked about Charlie's house. So he lived in a very small house, as you could see in the picture, like a very poor house because his family was poor. His mom tried to make good meals, but it was always the same thing and they barely had enough food to eat. And Charlie dreamed of eating something else, especially chocolate. Good. In chapter 3, we were introduced to the chocolate factory. So the biggest chocolate factory in the world was located near Charlie's house. So basically, Charlie could smell chocolate smell all day long. And he was hungry as well, because he's poor, remember? So why do you think he said, if I had just one wish, I would go inside that factory? Why do you think he said that? Well, obviously, because he wanted to eat chocolate, and maybe because he wanted to see what it was like inside. Good. Okay. Now, chapter 4, the first golden ticket. So Grandpa Joe told Charlie that Willy Wonka, the owner of the chocolate factory, said that whoever finds a golden ticket in a bar of Wonka chocolate gets to visit the factory. And there are only 5 golden tickets, so only 5 people in the world will get to visit the factory. The next day, Augustus, that child you see in the picture, found the first golden ticket. Good. Now, Augustus was a greedy boy. He liked eating too much, and nobody liked him. Okay, move on. Chapter 5. Veruca found the second ticket. Good. In chapter 6, it was Charlie's birthday. And every year on his birthday, his family bought him a bar of Wonka chocolate as a birthday present. What do you think Charlie hoped for? A golden ticket, of course. Hello? And there were only 3 golden tickets left. Did he find one? No, he didn't find a golden ticket on his birthday. Good. Chapter 7. Violet found the 3rd ticket. And this girl loved chewing gum. Chapter 8. Mike, who was crazy about television, found the 4th golden ticket. Then chapter 9, Charlie finds some money. While he was walking back from school, he found some money in the snow. And what happened next? Well, he wanted to buy food. What kind of food? Chocolate, of course. So he went to buy chocolate. That's chapter 10. A bar of chocolate, please. Wonka chocolate. And as he was pulling off the paper, he saw something yellow under the chocolate. It was the golden ticket, the last golden ticket. So Charlie found the last golden ticket. Chapter 11. Basically, Charlie went back home to show the golden ticket to his family and to tell his family that he actually won the last golden ticket. In chapter 12, the big day arrived. So people were standing outside the factory waiting to see those 5 children who were going to visit the factory, the ones who found the golden ticket. Now, all children had their parents with them, except Charlie. He had Grandpa Joe. In chapter 13, we saw Mr. Willy Wonka for the first time in person. And he was described as a funny little man. A funny little man with his pointed beard. Now, chapter 14, they went in the factory, so they went inside. And they were introduced to the Oompa Loompas. Small people famous for working, dancing, and singing. The Oompa Loompas. Did you notice something? A brown river near the waterfall. It says waterfall and brown river. What is that brown river? It's the chocolate river. So in chapter 15, Augustus is going to fall in that chocolate river. While he was trying to taste the chocolate from the river, he actually fell in it, and suddenly he was gone. He disappeared. Good. Chapter 16, down the chocolate river. So it was time to sail down the chocolate river. And everything around them was made of sugar. Even the boat. The boat was made of sugar. In chapter 17, they went into the first and most important room of the factory, called the magic room. And in that room, they found lots and lots of magic sweets of every kind. On top of that, right in the middle of the room, they found a great gum machine that produced magic gum. Now, Violet, who loved chewing gum, wanted to try that magic gum. So she tried a piece, and all of a sudden, she turned purple and round. She became very, very big and purple. So the Oompa Loompas had to take her away to get the juice out. Now we lost Augustus in the chocolate river and Violet in the magic room. Good. Chapter 20. In chapter 20, they actually went into the second room called the nut room, where hundreds of little animals were opening nuts. Now Veruca was trying to catch one of these animals, and instead, the other animals pushed her down with the trash. So Veruca was gone as well. And that means that we lost Augustus in the chocolate river, Violet in the magic room, and Veruca in the nut room with their parents. They're all gone. Now who's left? Mike with his parents and Charlie with Grandpa Joe. These are the 5 visitors left. Good. So in chapter 21, they were too tired and Mike wanted to watch TV. So Mr. Wonka took them to the great glass lift. A lift is an elevator. Now that lift or elevator was described as being as fast as a rocket. Simile! As fast as a rocket, like super, super fast. And it went up and down and round corners. It was also described as crazy. Okay, so far we saw the chocolate river, the magic room with the great gum machine, the nut room, the great glass lift, and now the television chocolate room, which was described as a brilliant white room. Remember, we only have Mike with his parents and Charlie with Grandpa. In chapter 23, we saw 6 Oompa Loompas putting a big piece of chocolate under the camera, and then suddenly it was in the TV, but it was much smaller. Now Mike went under the camera and he became very small. So we lost Mike with his parents as well. Now who's left? Charlie with Grandpa Joe. Now in chapter 24, Mr. Wonka told Charlie that he is the winner. But Charlie didn't really understand. Then they went into the lift, the elevator, and they flew up into the sky right above Charlie's house. Then Mr. Wonka told Charlie that he actually won the whole factory. So now the chocolate factory belongs to Charlie. Then the lift fell on Charlie's house, but it didn't really matter because now Charlie is very rich. He is the owner of the whole chocolate factory. Good job. Now I want you to answer the following questions. First of all, try to find as many onomatopoeias as possible in the story and at least one simile and write them down. Question number 1. Describe in your own words why the buckets couldn't buy a better house. So why Charlie's family couldn't buy a better house? Remember, you have to answer these questions in full sentences with capital letters, full stops, finger spaces. So write at least a sentence or 2. Number 2, why does Charlie wish he could go inside the chocolate factory? So why did he want to go inside the chocolate factory? Number 3, can you find a quotation to describe how hungry the family felt? A quotation is a sentence in the story. So can you find a sentence in the story to describe how hungry the family felt? Number 4, where does Charlie Bucket live? Number 5, can you find 2 good words that describe the chocolate factory? So can you describe the chocolate factory? Find 2 words to describe the factory. to adjectives. Number 6. Why do you think Willy Wonka gives Charlie the factory? So why did he do that? Think about it. Number 7. Can you think of a different ending for this story? So can you think of a different end? Something else could have happened? Number 8. If the story continued, what might happen next? Good.
See you soon, year 2.